Hello, today I'm going to be sharing with you my morning and my evening skincare routine. This is part of the series that I'm doing on getting the best skin of your life, especially over 50. If you know my story, I did not start skincare until 50, and it has taken me a long time to figure out what products work and what products are best for my mature skin. My hope is that my sharing my skincare journey and the products that I'm using will help you pick products that are perfect for you. I use them for at least 3 months, and that's kind of the minimum time that it's going to take for you to see if a skincare product is going to work for you personally. Let's start with some of the new products that I've been using in my morning routine. And then in my evening routine, I'm going to share with you my retinoid journey and how you can incorporate this very important ingredient into your skincare routine. I've been using the Photozyme CEF. This has DNA repair enzymes. If you missed my video on DNA repair enzymes, I'll put down in the comments several reference videos that you can learn more and see if this might be a right fit for you. The reason I decided to use this particular product is because I needed a new vitamin C anyway, and the boost of DNA repair enzymes that I have been using now for almost 6 months, it just was an easy fit into my routine. More along the budget-friendly line are the 3 products I'm going to introduce next. Now, you might be saying, oh my gosh, you've got like 6 steps in your morning skincare routine. Yes, I do. I use a lot of different ingredients to see if they're actually going to make a difference in my skin and if I can recommend them to you. So we're going to start with these 3 products that I picked up from the Sephora sale. I like to share a combination of budget and bougie items in my skincare routine because everyone's at a different place in creating their skincare routine. When I first started, I started with the ordinary products. I have 2 ordinary products to share with you, along with one from the INKEY list, all very reasonably priced. Let's start with the one that comes next in my skincare routine after my vitamin C. When I first started this routine, I was adding the Ordinary Saccharomyces 30% Milky Toner after my vitamin C formula. Vitamin C usually is recommended to always go first just because of the pH level. But I added this after, and then I started thinking about it. This is actually, I kind of thought about it as a toner, a hydrating toner, but it does have some very, very gentle exfoliating properties. Both the NAD in this formula and the Saccharomyces ferment in this particular formula are slightly exfoliating, but so gently so that I wasn't even really realizing that that was the goal of that particular product. So I switched things up a bit. These are plant-derived growth factors at 15% in the ordinary. You know you're going to get a budget buy. So I picked these up just to see if they would make a difference. After thinking more about it, I decided to use the Ordinary's formula right after the vitamin C. They actually recommend that you don't combine this with basically any other skincare product. No vitamin C, no retinoids. So it's a really tricky product to fit in your skincare routine, but also the Ordinary doesn't actually explain why they don't want you to layer it with these other products. So I just went ahead and did it. This is kind of a little bit of an experiment, and some of you may prefer to use this without doing your vitamin C first, but I always love a vitamin C. Let's talk a little bit about growth factors. I can't just skip over that, because they are the less studied. Both the DNA repair enzymes and growth factors are the less studied ingredients in skincare formulas, but they are potentially very exciting ingredients because they make the skin behave younger. This is a term called regenerative skincare. Products in your skincare that kind of turn back the clock. You might think retinoid, growth factors, exosomes, you would think DNA repair enzymes, all those more kind of high-tech ingredients that can help restore the youthful look of your skin. After the Ordinary, I came in with the Milky Toner. This is so gentle that they say you can use it AM and PM and every day. So if you have really sensitive skin, this would be the perfect exfoliating product to use. I had no problem, no sensitivity to it. I have fairly sensitive skin, fairly reactive skin. I was able to use this on a daily basis. And I assume it's just daily helping slough off those dead keratinocytes that just build up on the surface of our skin. But doing it so gently, it just so lightly exfoliates that it just helps our skin look more luminous. And they also have ingredients in here that help with hydration. So you're getting a kind of a 2-in-1, the gentle exfoliation and a dose of hydration. The next step was adding in some exosomes, and the reason I put this as step number 4 is because it's a creamier formula. Sometimes if you don't know where to put a particular skincare product, go by texture. This is a creamier base compared to the other 3 serums that I'm using, so I put it as the 4th serum. Now, optionally, I would also come in with one of my tried and trues. I try to keep several tried and true ingredients that I know are effective for my skin in my routine at all times. And this is the one by Dr. DRISS, the Major Fade Do You Need 5 steps, 5 serums. You absolutely don't. But each of these serums has different ingredients and they have different purposes. Pick your serum based on what your skincare needs at the time. Make sure you're thinking about picking these serums for a purpose, for a skincare concern. So for vitamin C, obviously brightening. For growth factors, obviously better skin health, better biome. The milky toner for a little bit of exfoliation, keeping my skin bright, keeping those keratinocytes sloughed off. And exosomes was a bit of an experiment. I honestly wasn't sure what these would do for my skin. I did a trending ingredient video. Go check that out. And exosomes were in there. Now, where do exosomes come from? Where do these growth factors come from? They actually come from stem cells. In this case, all the products that I'm using, they come from plant-derived stem cells. And the DNA repair enzymes as well are plant-derived. You can get human-derived, animal-derived, and synthetic growth factors and exosomes as well, but they basically come from stem cells. They are the secretions that stem cells create. I want to do a deeper dive on these ingredients. Let me know down in the comments if you're interested in kind of more of a high-tech explanation of what stem cells are, what they do for the skin. There's a lot more research to be done. I would definitely love to know if you're interested in the topic of regenerative skincare, so leave me a comment down below. And as always, the first pinned comment will have all the products that I'm talking about today, as well as in the description box. All you have to do is tap more, and sometimes if you're on a laptop, tap more again, but just pop down into the description and you'll see everything that I'm talking about and a couple other ways to follow me. If you're interested in becoming a member, definitely watch this video because I have 2 of these items that I'm sharing with you in the month of June. All right, back to my skincare routine and the Dr. Aegis Major Fade Serum. This is a really creamy serum. You're probably wondering why I add this into my skincare routine. The reason is discoloration. I like to get ahead of discoloration, and this has alpha-arbutin, kojic acid, diglucosyl gallic acid, glycerin, and licorice root. The heavy lifters in this formula for anti-pigmentation are the alpha-arbutin and the kojic acid. The diglucosyl gallic acid helps with inflammation, which I'm always suffering from, and it has one of my favorite moisturizer humectants, glycerin. And it also gives the most luminous look to your skin. I do not know what's in here. It's just a bit of magic. If you've been on my channel for a while, you know that I love this product. I travel with it at all times. It's really my #1 skincare travel companion. All right, so that's basically it for my morning skincare routine, except of course for sunscreen. Let's move on to my evening skincare routine and the one product that you need in your evening skincare routine that is going to transform your skin for the best skin of your life. You probably guessed it, retinoids. Aside from sunscreen, retinoids are the most transformative ingredient that you can have in your anti-aging skincare routine to actually make a difference in your skin. Retinoids are a class of vitamin A. Some are derivatives, some are the active form retinoic acid that you can get from your dermatologist called tretinoin. Many of you are very familiar with retinoids. So retinoids come in many forms, and they come in, I guess we could call them strengths, levels, but they're actually retinoic acid and then the derivatives thereof. At the weakest end, you have retinol esters, for example, retinol palmitate, then retinol OL, then retinaldehydes, then you have the prescription formulas, tretinoin, adapalene, trifarotene. You want to start out low and slow with retinoids. I'm sure you've heard this, all the skin irritation that you can get with retinoids, and probably for some of you, it scared you off. I know it definitely did me at the very beginning until I had a fairly in-depth conversation with a dermatologist that really was good at explaining how to use retinoid. The very first dermatologist I had just handed it to me like a lotion. You can imagine what I looked like. It was 0.05 tretinoin. I was a wreck. I was like, what did she give me? My face was burning off. So definitely go low and slow. Even if you're using over-the-counter retinoids, you want to start out slow. And I'm going to show you a couple techniques on how you can limit the irritation with retinoids. And sometimes your skin is just going to be like, nope, I'm not having it. That was me about 1.5 years ago, and I've been slowly reintroducing retinoids back into my evening skincare routine because I know how important they are. And retinoids are typically in an evening routine. There are a few that you can use in your morning routine. The reason you can use them in the morning is because they're encapsulated and they release slowly over time, so they're just not irritating. And my guess is that they don't get degraded by sunlight because that's the reason that most retinoids are recommended in the evening. The sunlight just degrades them, so it just doesn't make any sense to put them on if it's just going to break up and not work for you. Two that come to mind are Versed has one that you can use in the morning, as well as Murad. And if you can't fit it into your evening routine and you really want to use a retinoid, I will put both of those products in the description and you can go check those out. Back to why retinoids are so important. They help your skin cells actually behave younger, turn over faster, come to the surface faster. By making your skin younger, they kickstart cell turnover and collagen production. Who doesn't want a little bit of that? If you have never tried retinoids, now's the time to try. Go low, go slow. Start with 1 day a week, 2 days a week, 3 days a week, and build up your tolerance. You can also use a moisturizer to buffer it. So you put a little bit of moisturizer on, then you put your retinoid on. You can also do the sandwich method to help with irritation. Put a little bit of moisturizer on, put your retinoid on, let it sink in for a bit, and then right before you go to bed, put a little bit more moisturizer on. Those are a few techniques that you can use to manage the irritation from retinols. My skin was not tolerating any of the prescription formulas for about a year and a half or a year before I decided, okay, I've got to get back on this routine. And I introduced retinaldehyde. The one I'm using right now is by Remedy. It's called For Aging, and I use it about 3 times a week. And I alternate it with my prescription formula. This is the 0.015%. It was compounded by the company Agency. Agency can compound you formulas of the active form of retinoic acid, tretinoin, into a very low percentage. I started out with 0.002, and now I'm up to 0.015 tretinoin in this compounded formula. And it also has tranexamic acid and niacinamide in it. It's just a really great way to get started on your retinoid journey. If you don't have a dermatologist that you're working with, or you do, but you want to start low and slow and you need a compounded formula. Most dermatologists don't have a connection with a compounding pharmacy. So Agency is a great way to go if you're just starting your retinoid journey. And I have been very thankful to them for helping me get back on this really amazing anti-aging ingredient that I have been wanting to reincorporate into my skincare routine for quite a while now. I've talked to a lot of you that have had just sort of this sudden eruption of irritation from tretinoin, and you've had to stop and kind of reset. And the point is, if you're getting irritation, if it's not just your first time using it and you're getting that little bit of irritation that typically happens, but if you're really getting irritated after using a retinoid for years and years, it's time to take a step back. Irritation is going to cause more problems to your skin, and the inflammation can actually be counteractive to the anti-aging benefits that you're looking for. Back to the other products that I'm incorporating into my evening routine, because my routine isn't the same every night. I only use my prescription product 4 nights of the week, and then on the other 3 nights of the week, I'm using a retinaldehyde, the one step down from retinoic acid, tretinoin. And I start my routine on the 3 nights that I'm not using my retinoic acid with the growth factors, which I've been using day and night. Then I come in with the ordinary Saccharomyces ferment that you can use morning and evening for a gentle exfoliation. And the last step in my evening skincare routine was the Remedy's retinaldehyde. As you can see, it has that classic yellow retinaldehyde color and super moisturizing ingredients as well. If I'm feeling a little dry, I would top it off with one of the moisturizers, the Remedy or the Do Skincare. I just realized I forgot to mention Remedy for dark spots. You might not recognize this as a retinoid product, but it has retinol, OL. So that's 2 steps down from the active form of retinoic acid. But I was surprised because I was using this in the fall for dark spots because it says Remedy for dark spots, and it does have some fantastic pigment reducing ingredients in here, and I had great luck with it. But it also has retinol, so it's a great gentle retinol product to start with, and it's going to be down in the description along with the other retinol products that I recommend, but I wanted to point it out because it does say Remedy for dark spots, but it does have retinol in it. Now for my very quick analysis of how this 3-month skincare routine worked. Honestly, it was super hydrating. The retinoids, the way I was incorporating them, weren't irritating. I didn't have any redness, and I do suffer from just flushing and redness in the evening. I honestly felt like that slowed down. Using a retinoid regularly can help with flushing. Now, I'm not saying that you should go out and get a prescription retinoid if you have extreme inflammation and flushing. Of course, always talk to your doctor first, but it is supposed to help with that, as well as rejuvenating the skin, cell turnover, and collagen production. I've also, if you saw my cancer scare video, I had a little bit of lip precancerous spot burned off, and I did a full video on stories in my family of skin cancer. The one tip my dermatologist recommended was to start using my retinoid on my lip area, which I'd been avoiding because you can get so much irritation around the mouth area with a retinoid. So she recommended using adapalene, which is actually a type of retin-A derivative that you can use over the counter, and you can get it easily. Might be something you might consider starting with. Adapalene is also called Differin if you're looking at the shelves and you can't figure out what it is. But it's a retin-A derivative that you can get over the counter in the US. But I ended up using Agency's eye formula because it has 0.002% tretinoin, and it was so gentle around my eye area. I decided to start using it around my lip area. Occasionally, I will just use my regular tretinoin formula, but I've been trying to be a little bit gentle on my lip area. But I thought that was a great tip on how to prevent precancerous growths around the mouth area. Studies actually show that using retinoic acid, vitamin A, tretinoin is actually helpful in preventing the growth of skin cancers. So potentially you're getting two benefits from your retinoids: anti-aging, as well as helping keep in check the actinic keratosis, those precancerous cells, by improving cell turnover. And the most I can say about the other three products I introduced over the last 3 months, the growth factors, the vitamin C formula by Photozyme with DNA repair enzymes, and the Exosome Hydroglow formula by the INKEY list, are that they did not cause any inflammation. And they do have potential benefits, starting with the growth factor serum that I use from The Ordinary. This is a very budget buy. Growth factors were derived from plants. We are not plants, that's true, but theoretically, it's supposed to help with cell turnover, collagen production, reducing fine lines, and also helping with inflammation. So did I see a huge difference in my skin? No, I have pretty good skin. I'm not going to see dramatic changes. If you wanted to try growth factors and you were super curious, this would be something to try. It's budget friendly. It's easy to incorporate in your skincare routine. Well, with that caveat that they don't really like you to add it in with other formulas. And also the research around growth factors is honestly pretty thin so far. Are they new in skincare? No, but they definitely need more research. DNA repair enzymes and the vitamin C formula that I used. Vitamin C, L-ascorbic acid, which this formula has, is proven in the literature to help with lightening and brightening. I use it in my skincare routine all the time. I left it out for a while because my skin was really sensitive to it, but I've slowly built up tolerance to vitamin C. Now, again, these products can be unstable, especially L-ascorbic acid, so you might want to turn to a derivative of vitamin C like tetrahexyldecylascorbate. But I've been really enjoying this formula, and I will keep using this because of the DNA repair enzymes. Again, the research is thin, but I'm super curious about how DNA repair enzymes can help turn back the clock on your skin. Super curious. This will be staying in my skincare routine at some level, either the youth serum, in which I think that in June is on sale for 30% off. I'll leave it down in the description. They have a youth recovery serum, which is the one that I started out with, and then I switched over to the DNA repair enzymes in their vitamin C formula. I will be switching off my vitamin Cs. I always like to try different types of vitamin Cs. I'm just curious, and I also want to try them for you because vitamin C can be a little bit tricky. Some of them are very occlusive feeling, not comfortable in the skin. Some have a weird scent. So I always love to try different vitamin Cs for you. My holy grail vitamin C is the one by Dermatology, which is definitely a little bit more budget affordable. And I think it's great for all skin types. It doesn't have that more occlusive feel to it that some vitamin Cs do. I'll put that down in the description too for one of my recommendations. Now for the Exosome formula by the INKEY list. This is also plant derived. Why in the world exosomes, and what in the world are they? Exosomes are also excreted by stem cells. They're little vesicles, and they have nucleic acids, they have lipids, they have growth factors, they have cytokines. They have most of the secreted factors from stem cells, but they package them in these little vesicles and take them around and deliver them to targeted cells. Did I see a huge difference in my skin with this? No, but it is a super gorgeous, glowy formula. If you're curious about it, it's also a good budget buy, super hydrating. I enjoyed using it. Will I keep it in my skincare routine? Probably not, because the research, again, is fairly thin on whether exosomes are actually helpful for the skin. And there's actually a little bit of pushback from some doctors that saying exosomes in skincare should really be limited. And I think they're talking about human exosomes or animal-derived exosomes from either humans or from animals versus plant. So that is a topic for another day. I hope you've enjoyed my roundup of my skincare routine that I've been using for the last 3 months and got some great ideas for getting the best skin of your life. Again, if you have not joined, join Beyond 50 Skin. We are a group of women who love talking skincare, minimalist makeup, and the occasional hair care video and fashion video for mature women. Thanks so much for watching and wishing you all a skintastic day.